Valentina's story. I'm adopted and I'd like help finding my birth family.
I'm heading down to Hamilton, here in New Zealand. Russian adoptee Valentina has reached out to me and hoping that I can help her find her birth family. All she has is just a small piece of information, but that's all I need to get underway.
Out of all the questions running through my head, the number one I wanted answered the most was why my birth family would give me up for adoption. And I wanted to make sure that the circumstances were pretty severe.
Our search begins in Pskov, Russia, one of the country's oldest cities, located near the Estonian border.
So this is my birth certificate, and this is my passport, and this is my orphanage health records and my adoption paper, and this is all that I've got. I was the age 4 when I was adopted from Russia. What I know about the orphanage is that it was really run down. There were a lot of children needing families. It was in the 90s, so they didn't have many resources. We all shared one cook. There was one person that came and cleaned and one doctor. I don't have any memories from that time. I do remember people telling me stories from that time when I was young, but my own, I don't. I have been told that in Moscow, when we were leaving, we caught a massive train ride, and I was given lollies or confetti, as they say it in Russia, kind of to help me adjust to the change in environment. I was adopted by an Australian family. We were adopted to Brisbane. I was adopted with 2 other siblings, an older sister and a younger brother, and we all had the ideal Australian upbringing. I don't think I felt different as a child, but I think subconsciously my behaviours showed that I was a little bit different. Some of those behaviours were, I was a little withdrawn in big groups that all knew each other, like big family events, and sometimes in school situations. It wasn't a bad thing, it's just when you put me in those big situations, I just preferred to be on the outer.
The sense of feeling on the outer stayed with Valentina throughout her childhood.
This is in the orphanage. I was about 4.
You look pretty happy with your umbrella there.
Yeah.
Inside.
Yeah. And so this is the orphanage.
Far out. It looks like, well, it looks cold for a start. But it looks like just a big house, doesn't it, I guess?
Yeah, and there'd be like heaps of kids in there, and obviously all the staff.
Yeah, playground.
Yeah.
Can you tell me any of the stories that your father told you about your adoption?
I can tell you a story. It was his first time travelling overseas, and he chose the biggest country. And he had never seen snow before, so it was a massive adventure for him and his partner because they'd never travelled, and then they came home with 3 children. I do have some memories of those early years. I remember painting for the first time at preschool. I remember going for my first swim at a beach that was warm enough to be able to go swimming. And I remember nice summer fruits, eating mangoes and watermelon and just playing in the backyard.
Valentina and her siblings adjusted to a new way of life in Brisbane. However, her parents made sure she knew where she came from.
I was raised knowing I was adopted. My adopted father made sure that we all knew that we were adopted from a really young age. So it wasn't a surprise. He often would give us stories that he had bought in Russia and make sure that we were still reading the language. and he often told us stories about the orphanage and about his experiences in Russia. So it was on a weekly basis we were reminded that we are adopted and that we have two cultural backgrounds.
Despite knowing she was adopted, Valentina didn't know any details about her birth family. And after the birth of her son Lockie, her search began.
I started to ask questions about my adoption when I had my firstborn in 2020 after the lockdown, and I thought I was curious as to how I ended up in the situation that I did, knowing my love for my son. I thought something pretty serious must have happened and I wanted to know what it was.
Valentina's birth family remained a mystery. Her parents had very scarce details about her adoption.
My parents were open about where I came from. They themselves didn't have that much knowledge. All they had was the very little paperwork that I've got and they've given to me, and obviously their experiences in Russia themselves, but further than that, they didn't have much information to give me, so they've just given me what they had. It was frustrating, and also not being able to read your own certificates is frustrating. You're stuck. You can't do it on your own. You have to start asking for help. The first thing I did to start searching for my biological family was to find out my last Russian name, my real last Russian name. My name was changed slightly, and so I had to go through the birth certificate to figure out whether my name was on there, and that was the beginning. I have wanted to meet my birth parents, absolutely. More so as I got older, just navigating where to start. It took a while to get started because I didn't know where to start. I absolutely wondered why my parents would give me up for adoption. To me, that was the driving force to want to start searching. That was like the biggest question, like why? What happened? I want to know.
After months of researching, I had some news for Valentina.
So Valentina, based on that initial information you gave me, which wasn't a lot, I've had some success.
Okay.
I've managed to track down a half-sister of yours.
Oh my goodness. Really?
Her name is Victoria.
Okay.
She is 44 years old.
Okay.
And she lives in the small town of Ostrov in the Pskov region.
What? This is incredible.
She was in a boarding school when you were taken to the orphanage, and I've actually gone that step further and I've managed to get a video of her for you to watch.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to see it?
Yes, please.
Now, she only speaks Russian, but
Okay.
I've subtitled it for you.
Okay.
And I would love for you to see.
Oh, thank you.
Здравствуйте, я Виктория, ваша сестра. Я
Oh,
очень рада,
she's
когда
all dressed up.
вас узнала. Я вообще думала, что вы в Америке. Ну, вот, спасибо.
I can't believe
Что вы
it.
меня
Like,
нашли.
this is amazing.
Когда я вас узнала, очень эмоции были. Даже не знаю, как и передать.
I have so many questions, like, just running through my mind.
Надеюсь, что будем в дальнейшем с вами общаться. Надеюсь, даже на встречу с вами.
She would like to meet me in the future. Thank you so much, Alex. That means so much to me.
What are your thoughts on that video?
It's incredible. Like, you know, Russia just seems so far away, and now she's here talking to me on an iPad, you know, well, not in English, but in converted English. It's amazing.
And you had no idea that you even had a sister?
Well, like I said, I was looking for my birth parents, so I'm so excited.
I wonder how she's feeling too.
Yeah, well, she's known about me for all of this time, so I should be so happy.
After the happy news of reuniting Valentina with her sister Victoria, I was keen to learn more about her past. I needed to build up trust with Victoria. And after a few more months, I got some answers, but it wasn't the news I was expecting. I've been back in touch with your sister Victoria, and it's taken a little while to make you feel comfortable, which I completely understand. She has told me there were also 2 brothers adopted out.
Okay.
Amazingly, they were adopted here to New Zealand, and I've spoken to one of the brothers, Alexei, who's keen to learn the truth.
I can't believe they're here in New Zealand. That's unbelievable.
Crazy, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't want to say any more until I confirm this, but I think the best way forward is for you and Alexei to take an ancestry DNA test. The results will take a few weeks. Are you happy to do this?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. Well, I'll be back in touch when the results come in.
Thank you, Alex. My husband is incredibly supportive of my search. He is there every moment, learning every name, document things, log on to stuff, talk to whoever needs to happen. He's there helping me.
How would I describe Valentina's personality? She's very loyal, she's committed, she's fun. She probably might not say that about her, but she has a good fun side. It became important for Valentina to search for a birth family. Early in our relationship, obviously knew Valentina was adopted, but she didn't talk about it that much. And over time I've come to understand a little bit of, I guess, why adoptees wouldn't. But certainly after becoming a mum and starting a family together, I think even she'd say it was almost a subconscious switch. It's obviously something awakened in her, and it would just, the importance grew almost weekly. I think naturally it would have been hard for Valentina not to know her birth family after having Lockie. I can only imagine, as if for everyone who's a parent, to have that connection, that absolute bond with your kid and your family, I guess she's experienced that for the first time, really, as an adult. So that would have been, I can imagine, a huge, new thing for her. And yeah, I guess part of the reason why, something probably built within her to find out more about her family. It's been good going through this process because it feels like I'm connecting, we're learning about her a little bit more, and she's learning about that as she goes along. So it's a little bit strange. This is many years after the fact. I'm actually starting to find a lot more about my partner, who we're raising a child together and forming a life together. So it's certainly been, I think, beneficial and really so far a positive for her and us as a family.
After a few weeks, the ancestry DNA results were back. On top of this, I had uncovered some heartbreaking news. Valentina had learnt from Victoria that there were some disturbing facts surrounding her birth parents, but no details. I now have the full picture. The following contains sensitive material. Viewer discretion is advised. So I've been back in touch with your sister Victoria, and I've got some information about your birth parents.
Okay.
Sadly, it's not good news. Your mother was in prison for a long period of time, and while she was in prison, she sadly passed away. Your birth father has also passed away. It turns out that there was an altercation between your birth parents, which resulted in your birth mother killing your birth father.
The news about my birth mother makes me feel closure, to finally know what happened. I feel relief that I know the story behind it and the situation that led to my adoption, but I'm also obviously upset that I can't connect with either of my biological parents, and that's pretty awful circumstances. If I could speak with my biological mother, I would forgive her, and I would let her know that her actions were probably shaped by her own circumstances, and she was probably just doing the best that she could.
So on to the good news, Valentina.
Yep.
So your ancestry DNA results are back, and I can confirm that Alexei is indeed your half-brother.
That's awesome news. Oh, thank you. No, that's amazing.
What is more staggering though is it turns out he only lives an hour and a half away in Auckland.
Oh, what? Oh, what are the chances of that? Oh my gosh.
And he's very much told me he would love to meet you.
Oh, I'd love to meet him.
I'm happy to set up a meeting, but first I'm going to give you his phone number so the two of you can talk.
Oh, thank you, Alex. That'll be awesome. Thank you. A lemon. And do you know what colour a lemon is?
Yellow.
Yeah, that's right. I think adoptees should know about their adoption, and I think that it's better to explore it as you get older when you have the time and the emotional and mental space to do it, because it's a lot. A lot happens and you really need to be grounded or, ready.
While Valentina was processing the news on her birth parents, I had some more research to do. It turns out Alexei was also searching for his birth father. And before they meet for the first time, I decided to check in with Valentina.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you feeling?
Yes, I'm nervous, excited. Nervous, excited, all of it.
I really think it's going to be a big day for you, and I think it's just, I don't know, I think that connection is going to be quite strong, and I'm really looking forward to being there with you and seeing how that goes.
We've got questions, and I'm just excited to meet him and ask the questions and see if that instant connection's there, or is this something we're going to have to build on. So yeah, I'm just excited but curious but nervous, so yeah.
I'm nervous for you, but I'm also so excited, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes, see you then, Alex.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. After a lifetime of waiting, it was finally time for Valentina to meet her brother.
I can't believe I finally met you.
Me too.
I'm going to sit down with you guys, and I'm going to leave you two alone in a moment, but firstly, I'd like to show you your ancestry DNA results.
Yeah.
Yeah? So I've got them both here. So it actually turns out, Valentina, you're actually showing 11% Russian here,
Oh, okay.
while you have 69% of the Baltics region. Which is it's very different to you, Alexei.
Well, yeah.
Because what you have is over 78% Russian. Now this explains that you guys are half siblings, which is the other news I have for you, is you've got a different birth father than Valentina.
I see it.
And I've been able to track down your birth father.
Well,
Yes. I'm happy to help you make contact.
yes.
That's great. I think that's...
That's so awesome. It's
How do you feel about
amazing.
that?
Happy. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I think it's amazing to see these connections with
Yeah.
both of you guys. But as for now, I'm going to leave you two alone to get to know each other.
Thank you.
Sweet. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
What an amazing result. Couldn't have done it without the help of Ancestry. See you on the next one. To start your own family history journey with Ancestry, click the link below in the description.
The journey's been a wild ride. I'm really glad that I did it though. Looking back, I just remember the few bits of paperwork that I had, and then to meeting Alex and the community, the adopted community, to finding my Russian sister in Russia and chatting with her for a bit, and then even more excitement, my brothers. No, it's been awesome.
An adoption story, photo scene with Carl and Tina.
Oh, good.
The irony, right?
We didn't tell you you've been acting for 20 years.
How long have you guys been back?
I know. I said to him earlier, I was like, when they ask you like the nice things about me, you're gonna say nice stuff, hey?
Socks, or are they boots, or are they
No.
part of the routine or the dance?
They're socks.
No, let's have another look. Yeah, right. They're going to keep you warm. Yeah, very good. Very good.